All right, welcome to the Final K, the official podcast of Flamme Rouge Racing, where tactics, tech, and tenacity come together. I'm your host, Nathan Krake, and I'm joined by the one and only, the FRR mastermind, Mr. Race Control himself, Rich Vale. Now, this is episode 1, and we're kicking things off with a bang. Coming up, we're going to be talking about the FRR schedule with Season 5 just around the corner, what to train for and when to sharpen those elbows. Race rewards, what they are and why they're important. We're going to take a deep dive into our bold new racing format, the Super 6. And make sure you stay around until the end of the show where we have a massive game-changing announcement coming. So clip in and let's get into it. All right, Rich, before we get started, can I just let those that are watching this stream know that we encourage questions and participation. If you have a question you want to ask, just add the word question to the start of the comment so that we can keep a lookout for it. And then we'll do our best to answer it. Also, if you haven't already, join the FRR Discord server. A link to it and the Flamme Rouge Racing website are in the description below. So thanks, Rich. Hey, it's an exciting time, isn't it? Now, before we get stuck into discussing Season 5, as well as some exciting news, I just want to check in. And how have you been recently?
Me personally, actually, point-wise, first of all, from the intro night, Nathan, no pressure. I think really is probably from any of that going on there. I mean, personally. Yeah, I wish I could actually be fitter and younger and all those sort of things, but none of those things are going to happen. Maybe I can be a bit fitter sooner. But yeah, not too bad really. I've got out to France to do a bit of cycling.
I saw that.
Getting outside. Yeah.
I've actually got some pics if you're not too bashful about me showing them.
Well, I don't know. It's go on then if you're going to put some pics up.
Of course, there we go.
There we go. Well, yeah, that's the most definitely heading towards what I would class our virtual mountain, and had a great time up there. Maybe we'll talk about that a bit later on.
Yep.
Certainly putting up there long way to go there. So there's some lovely little stickers out there from Flamme Rouge out there. There she is. Look, just sits out into the distance.
Oh,
beautiful mountain.
It's formidable, isn't it?
I would definitely recommend it to anybody. Hats off to Tommy, obviously.
Yep.
And probably just zoomed in there. You can't quite see it so well. There's a little Flamme Rouge sticker actually on there. Actually, poignantly placed on a rock. There she is.
There.
Yep. Probably, knowing the wind's on top of one too, it's already been blown off. But anyway, it was there at that moment in time. But no, on to. There we go. And there's enough stickers on there. So ultimately, if you're up there somewhere and you can find our sticker and get a picture with it, please post on Facebook. It's part of the things to come.
Yeah, that looks absolutely fantastic. I'm insanely jealous. That looks like just an amazing experience.
Yeah, that's 2. There's definitely a 3rd one coming, and that was it was definitely trying to blow me off the mountain by the time I got there. I bet. On the 3rd one. So, but a great day.
Well, that's fantastic, mate. That's really good. As I said, if I ever get a chance to get over there, I will definitely get up to the top there and throw some stickers around. That'd be really good.
Happy to take you up there anytime, Nathan. So,
and by the way, just for those that are watching, how many times did you go up?
Well, that was 3 times. So there's 3 routes up. So it's there is a crazy challenge out there called the Songlaze Challenge. If people have done, many people have done it. Obviously, we put that into the Zwift game using the Ven Top route, and then you can it's one of the easiest ways to earn your virtual FRR jerseys, just to do the Ven Top route 3 times on the bounce.
Oh, how easy is that?
Sounds easy enough. It sounds easy enough, and some people can zoom up. Others will just say, "I'm just going to do it to go and win." To get that jersey, because the only way you get that one over just above my head up there in the game is to complete something that's a little bit tough. We don't give it away. So if you do see someone wearing it, they've definitely earned it.
Congratulations. Yeah. I'm going to have to get one, I think. I mean, I haven't done Ven 2 or even Ven Top 3 times in a row. I think the most I've done is twice. So I might have to pencil that in as a bit of a challenge.
Well, I'm sure it'll appear on our tour list somewhere.
It's just soul destroying. That's 3 times after that. It's just amazing.
Well, at least you can have a rest virtually to come all the way down. There's no rest on the way down up there. It's actually quite a hairy descent and all those sort of things. But I think at the end of it, you do feel very, I don't know, fortunate to be around and just go like, that's just a great experience.
For sure.
So, unless it's in the rain.
No one likes that, do they?
No one likes that. No.
Okay, let's get into season 5.
Yeah, season 5. Well, it's we've been hinting at it for a while. We started to put communications out there about what we were looking to do and when we were looking to announce. That was last Friday. So we're giving everybody a good week to look at what we've put out there.
Yep.
And season 5 traditionally will kick off sometime in September, and we'll run through to to the end of March into that sort of space. That's what we've always done.
Yep.
This year, we feel as though we're introducing, obviously, as you mentioned, the race rewards element to it, and as such, we have to go towards a full schedule, full 12 months, and look at those sort of things. But I think firstly, we want to sort of go on to the probably the slide before that one, which is actually about the tour schedule. That's the 6th schedule. Not that one. Maybe it's the last slide. Yeah. There's the last slide. Last slide. Next one. There we go.
Yeah, we got it.
Still the old
I got
one.
it.
All righty. Okay. So again, tour schedule this year. Again, we've always traditionally done 4 tours: France, Britannia, Watopia, and World.
Yep.
We stuck Triquetra in there some years ago. A couple of years ago, people really do want that back. Whether that's actually going to ultimately be this year, I know we caused, had some healthy discussion, let's say, last weekend about those sort of things. And I'm looking at that. I think there's a number of challenges of it. I think on that basis of people's commitment and time. I mean, anyone trying to do 63 stages, as the pros do over the summer, is an enormous amount of time.
It's a big ask, isn't it?
It's a massive ask.
Yeah.
We want to be, realistic to people too. Everyone's got lives.
Yeah.
So I think we're looking at Triquetra and looking at actually where that will actually fit. We've got something else that I think will actually work better over for a longer period in the summer and actually be better for people's time, which is almost like a weekend warrior series. So a Friday, Saturday, Sunday thing. We'll have more details on that very soon. So I think that's ultimately where we're probably going to go with that sort of space out there. And then we'll look at Triquetra, probably where it appeared before, where we got the most amount of interest, which really brings it back into the the sort of February, March time where we've run things before, but not next year, not in that space anyway.
Yep.
But looking at our tours, our 4 tours at the end of the day. So, France is going to kick off on the 27th of September.
Yep.
One of the key things that we picked up at the end of the Q&A for the tour season last year was, do we have to make everyone so hard that it almost, some people say it becomes a badge of honor to complete one, and it does.
Yeah,
it does.
for sure.
But equally, it also turns a lot of people off. We recognize that. I don't want to be at the back all by myself, that sort of stuff, doing an individual time trial and those sort of things.
Yep.
Now, that's not the case if you pick one of the, the more busier timescales, but not everybody has that ability to do that.
Yeah, you're right.
So what we did say this year is that we're going to do slightly different tours. So as we've seen here with France is a flat rolling one. And when you look at these particular courses, look at the distances, look at the amount that we're climbing, this should appeal to a lot of people who say, look, I'm not going up the Alp. I've got to suffer a little bit. Exactly. Going to suffer a little bit going up these sort of courses, but actually it will bring people together and keep people together a lot better.
Yep.
Our pen starts are already staggered. They work really well with people that, I want people, and I've always wanted people to race against their kind.
Yeah, that's the mass start tours are just not good for that, are they? Because you just sort of get demoralised when you're trying to stick with a faster group, and then you get completely blown up. So this way, the staggered starts are great.
Yeah, the biggest challenge with the mass start tours is I understand why people do them.
Yeah.
It's just the if I'm slightly stronger, I can try and just latch onto the back of a group and I'll get away.
Yeah.
And I don't want that.
Yeah.
Never wanted that. I want to say, look, you're racing against your group. If you're strong enough to go and race with those guys and latch on, you're in their group,
Yep.
and that sort of stuff. So,
Yeah.
it's really key that people race against their own kind, and that way keep the competition fair. That's all we ever
For
wanted,
sure.
fair and honest for people.
Lisa's saying that it's not a huge amount of elevation on those routes, so it's massively appealing. So looks like you've already ticked some boxes.
And we had lots of in old money terms in Zwifty world, D riders that said, I really do. Okay, I'm quite powerful, but if I hit really big 20 minutes climbs, the epics and those sort of things, I'm just blown out and I'll never win anything. Well, I think in this one, you've got to survive, the petit com and build up enough time scales to say, I can win this tour as a sprinter. Probably one of the first times a sprinter could probably really give it a good go, because actually these will keep groups together. The E-gaps will be really tight, and as such, it will keep people engaged. I think this tour, again, it's a flat rolly one. That's where they'll be. The others will certainly test people in other ways. Well, for sure, the Alp will appear somewhere. But, your sprinter might go, that one's not for me.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
I might just come in for the sprinting thing and I'll just do sorry, Mark, I don't think you're trademarked me if you say Mark Cavendish. I will just get over in the gruppetto, but I'll go and win my my green jersey and those sort of things. Ventop, I'm sure, will appear. All those things will appear. All those things that people love and hate will appear, but not here, and not in September. So, and it's all about invigorating people to come back in and just say, right, okay, there's a tour for everybody out here, and not just the same people who are going to win each time. So, I think the other thing just to point out here, this will cut across ZRL, but ZRL, the Tuesday will be a rest day. So, from that perspective, we're coping with that particular season. So again, yes, you can rest. Yes, you can do ZRL and you can still participate.
Yeah.
So, ultimately, this tour builds throughout the week, and that's where you see the slightly longer periods at weekends, and those sort of things. So rules are generally simpler this year than they were last year. They're always going to have a tinge of nuance about them, I would say. We've talked about the virtual broom wagon and why is that there. We talk about giving different climbs different ratings and all those sort of things, but they are there to add to the events. They are there to recognize that people like to go, well, if I do this, maybe I can just win. Well, actually, no, we need to try and shut those little loopholes down. And that's where, so any complexity is there because of loopholes. It's not because I like complexity. It's there because there's a loophole that some will exploit. And, I put a rule out there and before you know it, someone's trying to find a way around it. Or do
try to game the system.
Exactly. And I think we've, over the 4 odd years, we've managed to see many of them. But, we'll move forward. It's simpler. It's never going to be so simple that I just turn up and never do it, but you can still just turn up and race. Just do your best.
Yeah, that's it.
all you have to do. That's
just
what
participate.
It is.
So out of those stages there, Rich, which is your favorite? What are you leaning into?
For me, I quite like the Sacre Bleu one. I think at the end of the day, again, doesn't always, those distances are chosen quite specifically for what they will do. So if you think Paris is going to be quite a nice, easy 25 kilometers ITT on the cobbles up and around those slopes, I've never found it particularly easy. But Sacre Bleu will take you so far around the course. Other people will go, well, I'll just do the extra 20 kilometers and I'll finish off the course and get the badge. But each one of those will ask they'll finish in a particular place that just says, won't necessarily be that easy to do it. I know it's not Knights of the Round Table, but I'm sorry, Zwift, it sounds better than whatever you put out there. So it just sounds like something that should be in the Magic Roundabout. But and for those people that don't know what the Magic Roundabout is, you're too young.
I'll have to look that up.
Exactly. Really?
No, I don't know it. I don't. Yeah.
Oh, No,
I'm actually just asking the chat now if anyone can help me out.
Someone help Nathan out with what the magic roundabout was, and Dougal and Dylan and all those. Anyway, we won't go into that.
Yep.
So I think I'm looking forward to that one. It's not a course that I've done. Obviously, we've done many of these roads around Paris, and I think the challenge around Paris has always been about, and it's great that Zwift have put lots more course routes in here. Oh, we're still in France. A week later, it's Tour de France. We're still in France. So it's always a challenge to make things a little bit more interesting without sending people up to Ventoux, of course. And I know. Argued with my inner self many times.
Yeah, I was going to say, how often did you have that discussion with yourself about including that?
Well, I couldn't call it a flat rolling tour if I called it. If I said, okay, let's pop up to exactly. And I've suggested to Zwift many times a particular route that would do a much longer route that would end up there. I'll continue those that canvassing now.
Yep.
Yeah. So and again, the other tours, they'll come along. I'll release those schedules there. They will all, gradually ramp up. World will just have a bit of everything. So the way I look at it, if you're mounting goats, Watopia in January to get rid of the Christmas turkey is always probably the most popular one to go for. And then that'll have a good test in there. So, which is great.
Perfect. Looking forward to that. I mean, it's only taken me 12 months to get over Triquetra when I did it last.
Well, you might have to wait a little bit longer for that one again, but it will return. We'll look at that and we'll go from there. So I think from that perspective, that's the core season. Yep. In there, we're obviously said, in the summer we'll get into these weekend warrior type races.
Yeah.
Now those will really kick in. Those will really kick into in April, May, June, July, August sort of side of there. I'd love to be able to, and again, there's a lot of clubs listening, or it could be just us actually, and all my marketing has just gone down the tube. Where we look at clubs and go, actually, right, here we go. This weekend, this one's going to be run by CYE. It's going to run by Coalition. It's going to be run by Herd, or it's going to be run by AHDR.
Okay.
And something like that. Just okay. Then what do you want to put on? What if you were doing a weekend warrior series and it's and you wanted to put it on for your space? What would that look like?
Yep.
Let's host it. Let's get it in there. The slots will be there to run it. We'll have the events. Let's just let's badge it up how we want to run it, and give people something to do that says, I'm not going to take 3 weeks to do it. We're going to have a bit of a weekend warrior series. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, done.
Yep.
Cool.
Perfect.
So
super easy.
Shall we move?
Let's get into the
next piece.
Yeah. Rewards
it is. Rewards it is. I must stay closer to the microphone. There we go. Rewards. Where do you want me to start with rewards?
What are they?
I think what are they indeed? So rewards to us is looking to say, look, we want to give back to the community. We want to be able to do more ourselves. This isn't a situation where we're just doing some sort of land grab, trying to get as much cash in as possible, and not give anything back to the world. Our whole community is here because of how people have allowed us to build over the years.
Yep.
What we found ourselves now is 5 years in is wanting to do more, and race rewards is how I see us giving back more. We all do lots of racing. We all get a nice avatar, new jersey going on and those sort of things, but very rare we're actually getting anything in the real life out of what we're doing online. So, the strap line of, virtual racing and real rewards is something that we very much want to deliver this year.
Yep. Okay.
And I feel as though, what we're offering out there, which is, and again, I'll make this quite clear. It's an optional thing. People do not need to do this. But equally, I know that when we run our tours, we get a lot of donators to our GoFundMe, and it's fantastic. Really humbled by what people have given over the years.
So just to clarify then, so people can still join up they can still participate in all the FRR events.
Yep.
They don't need to pay anything to do that. That's all still going to be there, and that's not going to be changed whatsoever.
No, that core purpose of, you can still join, you can still be included in the results, you can still affect the results. However, what we're putting onto the table is actually some rewards. If you were prepared and actually see the value in it of parting with just £10 once per year, so less than £1 a month.
That's an annual fee, isn't it? That's not very much.
Well, I think if we put it in those sort of terms,
Yeah.
I mean, we get, as I was saying, we get a lot of people who donate and they give a lot of money. And I mean, I say enormously humbled by it. But I'd really love to have that collective people say, look, if I get 2,000 people say I'm interested in signing up for your event, as we do, I'd love them to be able to say, well, actually, that's worth £5 of my time. And if I'm signing up for 5, then actually £10 actually is not much over the whole course of the year. And if everyone pays that, okay, even my maths know how that works out. But it gives us stuff to do with. It actually gives us income to be able to do even more things with the platform, more things for the exactly. And what rewards will ultimately give is discounts. So what we're doing is partnering up with, we have our own shop, we have a level shop where we've got our kit, we've got other teams' kit. We have Verge, and we're just in discussions with them. They've just had a little bit of a wobble at the moment. The only reason they've had a little bit of a wobble, I'm sorry, Mr. Trump, but you went and slapped another 30% import duties on one of their
tariffs.
key areas.
Yeah.
So they're working their way through that at the moment. But I do hope they will. I do expect them to come back online.
Yeah. Okay.
And we're working with some other partners. Rewards don't kick off. The subscription to rewards doesn't kick off to the 1st of October. So as much now we're putting it out there and getting people communicated to understand what it is, how it might benefit them. What people can see inside of their profiles, and what we mean by their profile is when you've logged into an FRR account, you click on your name and a number of things will actually open up. You can see the race rewards that you've earned for all the years that you've raced with FRR. You can see the number of points that you've earned. You can also see how we're going to exchange those points for discounts for relative spaces, for relative shops. And that drop down box, by the time we get to October, will be a bit fuller of different offers. So £10 to get 20% off. I think people will actually get their subscription back in their first thing.
Absolutely. And Rich, Lisa's just asking, where can people find that subscription? How can they go about sending you some cash?
Well, when we open it up, you can actually see it now, Lisa, in your profile when you log into FRR. Now, just a quick note on FRR. We have been for the last 12, 18 months on .co.uk. We have now switched back to a more globally acceptable .com. So just be careful with your own settings. Your own settings are probably going to go, I recognize you were in .com before. And what we have seen is a number of people going, it says username not known or password not known. And that's because your local system is trying to put up the .com site that used to be there. And so if you're getting that, then just reset your password perhaps, or go, actually, I need to make sure I'm using, your username will be the same because it'll be your email address. But it might be popping up in your stars, the old password. And that's what I've seen with a couple of people out there. Once you've logged in, click on your name, open up the menu, you'll see subscriptions, and you'll see all the terms and conditions of how we're putting it across. And I'm sure between now and October, we'll talk about rewards even more. And how people can see those benefits. But ultimately, we want to give people, and again, when they get these, the discounts are there across sites wide. They're not just against FRR kit. So if you happen to be in level kit, if you happen to be in synergy type kit that's already offered in these shops, you can still get the discounts across those items too. So it's not just ours or any kit that those sellers. We're looking actively now to increase the number of people that can go into the vendor space. That's our own place, but equally there's level kit as well from the level side of things there, Nathan. Oh, you see Mr. Matt Ladd's challenge on there. We'll come back to him later on another call. We'll look at Matt Ladd's challenge, own very personal T-shirt. That
Gotcha.
he's an
We'll talk about that.
extraordinary young man.
Yep.
Indeed. Yeah. I won't talk about it now. I'll talk about it next time. But yeah. So, that's one angle. That's a rider benefiting from a small amount of money coming in for doing that. I think there's two other side of things that we want to talk. Obviously, the vendors. The vendors are going to obviously receive a footfall of people coming through and say, well, actually, great. People want to come and buy the stuff.
Yeah.
We're out here. We're a business. We want to actually increase our footfall too. So here we go. We're increasing them too. And the more vendors we can get on, the better for the riders.
Yeah.
The other angle to it I really want to talk about a little bit is the partner organisers. There's so many great organisers out there. There's so many great events that people put on out of the kindness of their heart. And many don't get, 99% of us don't get any reward other than, a nice message from someone and those.
A comment every now and then.
Every now and again, maybe. Anyway, so I think from what we're trying to put on the table here with partner organisers is say, look, you do great events. We're recognising people for doing events. And one of the key things about the rewards, about recognising, I'm not recognising people for taking podiums or winning the most amount of points or for that. I'm just recognising you for completing an event. Whether you come last or first or whatever, you're being recognised for actually completing an event. What the partner organiser element does is say, right, I want my events, I'm going to allow my events, just the fact that you participated, to be part of race rewards. That's great. All my people that know and enjoy my events can say, well, okay, right, my events that I've just completed will come into race rewards. Because people need variety. They don't just need FRR's events. They need what I seen you do, or the Bodicea side of things, or Level put out there, or Coalition's events that they put out there.
So
they need those events for variety.
So what you're saying, Rich, is that other clubs, other Zwifting clubs can have their own series, their own races, their own formats, and if they partner up with you, they don't have to do FRR stages. They don't have to do FRR seasons. They do whatever they want to do, but they can benefit from this as well.
Yeah, and the way they benefit at the end of the day is that we'll agree with those clubs which events that they want to allow to come into our reward space. Might be everything, but we'll just agree what they're going to do. That will tally up and be put into the race rewards history for people, so they can say, "Oh, great! I can see my rewards are going up." Now, that'll get it. People can see all those things going up. The way to actually get the funds then out to the clubs is saying, well, okay, then if you then sign up, if Nathan, you join up and go, okay, I've joined because I did a great Sisu as an event and it's inspired me to join FRR's rewards piece because now I can see what I can get, then on sign up, you'll set a referrer. And Sisu, and let's just say Sisu have decided that they wanted to partner with us and they're one of those referrers. You'll put Sisu down as their referrer. Of the £10 that you sign up, £2 of that will go to Sisu.
Gotcha.
For that first year. Okay.
How good is
so
that?
it's a start. I think at the end of the day, it's a start to say, right, if we do a great event and we've got 300 people who go into it and 40 people join FRR's rewards, there's 80 quid. Coming my way for all they've done is actually just signed up. Fast forward that 12 months, you set your referrer once, and that person says, actually, I still like the rewards. It's still relevant to me. It's still giving me value. Okay, Sisu don't have to do any more other than stay in the rewards, wanting to be a referrer. If as long as they stay there, still doing still doing those sort of events that will bring people through, then they'll earn £1 from every referral. So it's an ongoing referring fee. And we'll just pay that out. And agree how we do that. I think within the terms and conditions, I said I would total it by quarterly, be able to put reports out about who signed up and all those sort of things. So again, what I would urge people to do is log in, go and have a look at the subscription piece, and look at the partner organizer piece that is underneath the terms and conditions. And if you're interested, come to the virtual door is open to say, just come and talk to us about actually what you'd like to be able to do.
See what's possible. So the link to the Flamme Rouge Racing website is in the description of this stream below, as is the Discord channel. So if you do have any questions, you can jump into the Discord channel. Rich doesn't sleep ever, so you can ask questions anytime, day or night, and he's going to jump straight on it and give you a quick response. So that's the way to do it.
Says he who got up at 4:30 this morning to start this thing off.
3:45, thank you.
Okay, 3:45, I'm corrected. No. So, I think, when I look at rewards, we're looking to reward riders virtually and in real life with real stuff. And the vendors profit on the basis that they're selling their goods that they're put out there, and organisers, well, I think organisers can really benefit too out of it too. For sure. By again getting some income to actually help do their the great work that they do. The other angle, just the last point. The last point on the organisers is that we've got 8,000 to 10,000 people sat in our database currently that have come to us over the years. Now, of course, many will go, oh well, they're not going to be new. They're not new people coming in. They're already there. They're just going to sign up. Yep. Well, what at this moment we're going to do is that from October the 1st through to the end of the year, and people can join Race Rewards at any point. They might go, it's not right for me now, but it might be right for me at January or whatever. Maybe I've got enough points to go and get something from Santa. But points don't expire. They will just keep building. You can see them. You can see the pot. You know what you've got to do to unlock it. But what we will do... what we will do towards the end, between October and the end of the year, is say that, okay, I'll open them back up. Anybody who's in our database can reset their referrer from FRR to somebody coming in. So we've got AHDR. Okay, are you making a plug for that? Are you? Okay,
I would never do that.
Well, you're not doing that. Okay, well, you can do. But obviously, yes, they need to, and to be able to select that referrer, those clubs need to have subscribed into us and go, we'll do it. So therefore, they'll appear in a drop-down box when you do it. So
that's awesome.
And that way, that there's an instant amount of people that just say, there we go, we've already got 80 people. Yeah. Okay, I'm not saying 80 people are all going to join, and I'm not, it'd be great, but that's down to the individual, always down to the individual to make their choice. Are they? And again, I'd say, are you going to get value? And I would leave that very much to the individual to make that decision judgment. Yeah, exactly.
But you can already see the value that's coming through on this. So, and the other great thing is that no one else is doing this. Like, this is, to my knowledge, you're really the first one coming to market with this sort of a setup.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I'd thought of some time ago, and it was how to envision putting it out there. It got reinstituted to me as, okay, look, this could really work when I was watching the Giro this year. Yeah, okay. And the Giro on TV, certainly in Europe, what I started to see there was some flash stuff on a company, and I don't mind talking about them because I did approach them, and they gave me a very clear answer. Okay. Where they are giving, again, rewards for linking their Garmin to their system, but they reward for in real life riding only. Okay. Now I'd also urge people to join that. Okay, it's not my system, but equally, when they said no, they're a Spanish-based system called iMatra. I'm sure people know. Maybe people have joined it. If I wanted to be somewhere in 12 months' time, I'd want to be exactly the same places that they're offering now in the virtual world. And if you look at who they partner with as far as shops, they are looking at all the major exercise brands that everybody uses worldwide, whether that is Oakley, whether that is Hoka, whether that is Garmin, Wahoo. All of those guys are all bought into what they're offering. Yeah, why can't it be in the virtual world too?
For sure.
And I think at the end of the day, it's an absolute space to be in. Yeah. No matter what people say, we very definitely perspire in the real, even if we're performing online. The
same effort.
Yeah, it's exactly. it's the same principle. So that's one of my goals to make happen.
This is going to be great. And a bit later on, we're actually going to go through and do some live logging in and setting up things. So stick around for those that maybe have some questions about how this actually works. We'll take you through some of that, and I'll do a sign up as well. So that's going to be good.
Live sign up, live.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Sixthly moving on.
Let's get into, we're talking about Super 6.
Oh, I haven't heard about that. Have you heard about Super 6?
I've heard a little bit about it. I want to know more.
Have you?
No.
Okay, you want to know more?
Awesome, actually.
Well, again, it's something that we trialed out back in December last year.
Yep.
Team Fearless, the ladies racing space, reached out to us to put on their events. We put on a slightly different event. They embraced it, again, it's effectively team role racing. It's a global event, it's very different racing than what we've had opportunity to do so far. I mean, it's we've set it up is that we've used the 4 regions of the world. So we've used the APAC region, we've used the European region, US East, US West. And we very much want to try and set the world against each other in competition. We all want to find out who's the best in somewhere. And I really genuinely think this would bring people together to determine who's the best at the different levels of racing. And one of the key things about this sort of racing, strip it all back, is it complex and all those sort of things. And I'm sure on first read, it will be complex because it's new. Anything's new if it's, if I've got to read rules, it's like, I just want to race, just want to jump in a pen and race.
You're right.
Well, okay. But we've done that for 10 years. So why not try something else?
Let's level it up a little bit and make it better.
Yeah, and equally, this sort of racing again is looking to pit people of the similar same sort of power and energy against each other. And if you become more more powerful, move you on to a higher level. Move you on immediately. So 6 at the end of the day, global team racing. Yes, it's sat in 4 regions. Yes, there's only 4 times. The reason there's only 4 times is purely because we want to be able to do a league that persists. I appreciate that other leagues may do 5 or 6 times and give people options and that stuff and have all the leagues sort of distributed around. But no, we'll have a league division for each region. We're very much hoping that we can at least run in this first series. And Rome was never built in a day.
Yeah, it takes time.
It was started on one. I might have said that before. But if we can do even one division in every single league, whether it's mixed and women's only, the women's only is a real key space to invigorate across the planet. And part of that is actually saying, well, look, we've got a great series here. You'll race against your own kind. You'll race in power spaces that will work for you. So embrace it. Let's look to try and embrace it, and join in there, and then have a different period of time. Yes.
Friday nights.
Yes, Friday. There's one of the comments. How did I decide Friday night? It's a drinking night. People are saying, "What on earth are you thinking, Richard?" Well, I think when you look at 7 days, I'm afraid, whichever God we believe in, we've only got 7 days. And if I just very quickly ran through the 7 days, Monday, recovery day. So you've been out cycling all weekend. Maybe it's a bit of a recovery day. Tuesday, well, ZRLs, I think, is a pretty fixed fixture out there. It's a hard one to beat. It does what it does. It's locked in. And do you really want to go head to head with something that's more established in that sort of space? And I think the answer is no. Wednesday. Now, Wednesday was originally where we were probably going to be. And then we'd learned, well, okay, another team racing event immediately after a team racing event the day before.
Back-to-back's hard,
Maybe not. But I suppose also, I'll give a mention to our good friends DRS. DRS returned. And I personally like DRS. It gave me something that I struggled with. You asked me at the start of the show, how am I? I think when I was in DRS, I felt really invigorated about racing because I was racing against my own sort of power and kind.
Yep.
And for them, given their times and their busy schedules, Wednesday is probably a day, if it's going to come back, it's going to come back into that space. So we came away from the Wednesday.
Yep.
Thursday, again, TTT, people still do that. There's people like still doing that. So why try and push the water back?
Yeah.
Friday to me is open. Saturday, Sunday, well, it is a tough ask, I think, of the day. If the weather's good in a space, then people will go out. So let's leave Saturday. Yeah, exactly. So Friday, no matter how hard it might be, is where it's landed. And we'll make, that's where we'll be. That's not going to change for Series 1. And all we've tried to do with the timings of the events on the Friday is put them early evening in whichever location you're in. So if you're in Australia, it's going to be at 7:15 early evening Sydney time. If you're in the UK, now, UK is 6:30. I'll be quite interested from the European space whether they think that's too early.
What they think about that.
Now, so, that's something on the challenge side. Is that too early for the European space? We're dealing with, again, a bit like Australia, a bit of a multi-time zone.
Yep.
So we've got to think, I've also got to think about people where there might be 2 hours in front of the UK. Yeah. I don't really want people racing at 10 o'clock at night in the European space. So it's sat at 6:30 currently. It could change. But it only at most changed to 7 o'clock. But what I want to hear is from the Europeans to say
some feedback.
Why they wouldn't want to do it at that point. Yeah, give me feedback.
Yep.
Because we're here to take the feedback on and be responsive, as we've always been, maybe sometimes too much to feedback. But that's where it is. When I look at US East, US West, it's sat at 7 o'clock. So US East aligned to New York time. And again, give me feedback. If 7 o'clock is too early for you guys and you want it at 7:15, let me know. If not, it's 7 o'clock. US West is aligned to Calgary. So again, it's a little bit of an in-between between the LA side and the real Pacific side, and where probably there's a few more riders in that sort of Calgary mountain type zone. Again, if it's too early, tell me. It's going to be somewhere around there. But I need to hear from you to know whether it's landing correctly or not. Yeah. Because what I don't want to put out there is, no, it's fixed. It's never going to change. What's not going to change is you're not going to get 3 times in a zone, because this is one league system. This is one league system that persists. You're going to have first, second, and third divisions, just like you do have in the football league system in the UK. You're going to have to get relegated, promoted, and get yourselves towards Division 1 come the end of this particular series of 3 rounds. Gotcha. And why? We'll get onto that a little bit later on.
Yep.
So, the timings are what the timings are for the actual things, because that's the night that's available.
And talk to me about the race manager. So the team managers and the roles of the actual individual races. Yeah. So
before I just do that, I just think just touch on qualification. Which is that little box to the right corner. So qualification, September 20th.
Yep.
Now, qualification is there because let's say I dream up, we get 40 teams in US West that say, right, we're interested, and 40 teams want to be in the Alpha division. I could put 40 teams in one division. It would be quite a mashup. Or I can split them into 2 divisions.
Yeah.
The question is how. And the how is the qualification race. Stick them all in one race, which is going to start at what time is that? 1300 UTC, US West. So about 2 o'clock might be about 6 o'clock in the morning to LA, 7 o'clock in Calgary. So they're early morning races. They're on Saturday on the basis that it should give teams more ability to pull riders in. It should. Might not work like that, but equally it should. But it's a one scratch race. Put your 5 riders out, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Yep. And we'll tot up the first 3 over the line of your team and work out actually how and rank the whole team off the sum total of their positions.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
top 20 go in this division, top 20 go in that division, and then you've got 3 rounds of 5 races to get yourself into that Division 1 come March, when we get to the conference and world finals. So the qualifications are there to bit of a Harry Potter, that's probably trademarked, sorting hat at the end of the day. But there's no other way of doing it. And I'm not going to do it in alphabetical. Let's show up. Let's get the people racing, and we'll get people sorted into a division.
So how do we create the teams? Yeah, how do we get into what are the roles? How does the team manager play a part in all this?
Okay, so I think first of all, Nathan, while you just log in that top right hand corner up there, and I'll let you log in and go for that. So we call it Super 6. Now, the reason it's 6 is because there's 6 roles, but there's only 5 riders. And what we're seeing with the teams at the end of the day is that within each team, we've got what we call a GC rider, we've got 2 sprinters, and we've got 2 climbers. Those are all picked by the team manager, and those will be picked each week. So first of all, actually, Nathan, I can see you've actually already registered, which is great.
Yep.
I can see from that perspective. So if you were to register and were new to us, then Nathan, you would just click the enter event in that top right hand corner. It would open up the screen. You'd pick the event from the drop down box, which is the FRR Super 6 Series 1. So you could pick that one. It won't matter if you go into it and do it again.
Yep.
You tick the little box to say, actually, no, I just acknowledge that I'm wanting to do this. If you're a brand new team and you haven't got a role manager or a team manager and you want to be that team manager, then you could do the no thank you.
You could take that on.
Not a rider. You could take that on and put that in there. And then you just click confirm. And from a rider's perspective, that's all registration is. So if you click on registration there and just click the registration, as far as I'm concerned, you're showing in that little that table below that says to me that you're interested in Super 6 and you'll actually be part of it. The next part of it is actually, I want to register a team. Anyone can register a team, and anyone can register a team now. And what we'd really like to see is people think, well, actually, I'd like to be in a team. I'd like to think I want to race in the European space or an APAC space or a US East or West space. So to do that, if you went down to 6-team registration, yours is showing on 2 lines because of the size of screen.
My iPad.
Oh, okay. Is that what it is?
Yep.
Okay. And as you can see now in that one, this is open to everybody inside of your profile. If I just clicked on, you've got 2 options in that top right-hand corner. Register a mixed team or register a women's only team. Let's register a mixed team.
Let's do that.
So just click on that piece, and all it is. So again, I think the Super 6 is already filled in. You can put the name of your team, AHDR, no, and they're going to be the cruisers. Now, if you didn't want to be in APAC, if you just click on the drop-down box of APAC, okay, those are the 4 times. Those are the 4 regions that we're racing in. Now, the next piece that again you would put in at the moment would be the league level. How high do I think I want to enter? Now, the way these leagues are generated and set up, they are using the VLO 30-day max setting from the Zwift Racing app. So Alpha can have any rider whatsoever. So you can be the bronze, copper, you can race in that sort of league, no problems whatsoever. Beta, if you're going to be a diamond or a ruby, you'll not be allowed to race in beta. There's a little bit of something that will show people of what happens when people upgrade, which may give a very low ruby availability in beta, but once they go past a certain rating, they're automatically discounted from any selection for that particular league. And each one of those leagues, again, we've got a table that shows you who's eligible and at what rating level they're eligible for. And because ultimately this will dictate what riders a manager has available to them from within their team. So let's just say you wanted to. What level do you want to pick your team for, Nathan?
We're a solid C grade team, so I'm going to go with the Gamma.
Yeah, and we obviously use the Greek alphabet. Click on the little box to say yes, I'm happy. register that team. And what you should see now, hopefully,
There we go.
is a little team card come up.
Look at this.
Think of your days when, I used to play cricket a lot and quite well. Every Monday night we'd sit there and go, okay, we're doing team selection. And we'd have our little team cards go up on the wall.
Mhm.
This is the start of that team card that we're putting out for my club at the start of the week. You've now registered that team. You've registered that you're interested in being that manager. And automatically, you'll then have access to be able to manipulate that team and do those things. If you needed to change it, if you needed to change APAC to Europe, whatever else, you just hit the little edit button in the bottom right-hand corner, and you can change all of those things. Because at the moment, your team's draft.
Yep.
Yeah. So the next point on. Oh, hello. Where have you gone?
It's my. There we go. Yep. So there we go. I can go back in. I can change all that.
You can change it. So that's still open to change. So if you just come out of there for a second, and then let's just look at the roles. How difficult is it? So if I look at manage 6 teams, look at manage 6 teams. We're trying to keep it as simple as possible. So you've got manage 6 teams there below event registration. You see that one? There we go.
Yep.
So there's your race card. At the moment, there's no riders selected. So if you've selected, now just looking through this stage, at the moment, where it says race pass, when the race passes are there each week, from a manager's perspective, that button will give you the race pass that you'll need to either give to the team. Equally, anybody in your team will also see it under my teams. I will show that in a second.
Yep.
If you hit edit of that team in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, there we go.
There we go. Coming up.
This is you managing your team now.
So this is me as a race manager managing our team.
You registered that team. You can see it. And in fact, anybody who registers a team within AHDR can see your teams too. Anybody who's just the team role manager can see your team. So you can spread the load.
Yeah. Share it around. Great.
So this is the base screen. What you can see now, you've got 5 predefined lines: GC rider, climber, sprinter, and wild card. So the wild card in our Super 6, that's the 6. The other 5 are obviously just the numbers to get there. Gotcha. 5 riders, 6 roles. So who do you want to be GC rider? If you selected, just clicked on select. Okay. At the moment, you've got yourself and Ben who've registered. So let's just put Ben in there for a second. Okay. And let's just take you as a climber. I know you're an avid climber there, Nathan.
No, more of a sprinter, so I'll go sprinter.
All right. Go sprinter. You can field yourself down there. So there we go. You've started to select your team at this moment in time.
Excellent.
Before you can save it, you'll need to set your wild card.
Gotcha.
So if you go down to the wild card list that you've selected on at the bottom is built from the riders that you selected in your team. Who do you want to be your wild card? Well, let's just pop you in there for the moment.
Done.
Now, the wild card. The wild card will be given a specific challenge each points race. We have 3 types of races. We have a points race, we have a scratch race where everyone's the same, and we have a combined individual team time trial. Scratch race speaks for itself. The combined time trial races, that will be, you've got 5 riders out there. We'll take the 3 times of the first 3 people who cross the line in your race, combine that time. That will be your team time, and that's how we'll rank people for points. So again, there's no wild card roles to be had. While it might ask you for it, there's nothing to play in a combined time trial or the scratch race. Wild card comes to play in the points races only. And that's where we may put a challenge up. Well, we will put a challenge up for each one of those to say, right, whoever you designate in there, we'll have published that on this particular sprint, you need to finish out of all your other wild cards in the top 5. If you finish in the top 5 of times against your other wild card riders, not against the sprinters, just against the wild card riders.
Yep.
Okay. Then you can earn an extra team point for your league, not the number of points that a person wins each week, something that actually affects the league. So again, it gives you extra incentive to do well. Your role might be a climber, and yet someone's giving you the wild card road or whatever else. But equally, you're going to go and try your best to try and get that extra team point.
Yeah,
it's about giving you something. There's a bit of strategy involved in here.
Yeah, this is what I'm loving.
Yeah, and when we look at the points events and points races, there'll be 2 climbs, 2 sprints, every single one of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so it won't be like in pilot we didn't have quite that, but we do need that. So there'll always be 2 of everything for the climbers and the sprinters to get through. The GC riders, their sole task is to get to the line first. Every rider role will win 200 points.
Yep.
Half of their points will come solely against their own roles. So sprinters will only have 1 sprint points against sprinters. Climbers will only earn climb points against climbers. But everybody will fight for their finish points against each other. So it does mean that you've still got to finish. Can't just be a climber who's like blowing himself out and just, I'll just come last now. I still got to beat people to go and win some points.
Gotcha.
And so it keeps everybody engaged throughout all the races and all the time. So that's the principle behind the different roles. You've got different challenges, and equally, we've got a couple of, we're also throwing in there no hood. A few questions on no hood. It's going to mess with people's fruits. I know it is.
Just talk about that for a second, yeah.
So for people who've never raced with no hood, no hood is all about taking off all the information off screen. And therefore, all you've got is the riders and some butterflies flying around, and you've got the companion app. Those people are using Source going, I've got a bit of an advantage here. They've taken the hood off. No, you will see nothing as well, because, again, those sort of things are taken off screen as well. So you may get the odd little thing, but you'll certainly not get an understanding of when segments are, how fast people are. Can I see people doing a move because their watts per kilogram are suddenly going up? So the hood is there to throw people out.
Yeah.
So we've thrown them on scratch races. We've thrown them onto the points races.
Yep.
And during the pilot, we threw them onto the ITTs. Now that really messed with people's heads. So that will come. So we've got the first 2 rounds of 3 out there. The third round will certainly try and put that out there. Do you want to just go back to your screen and just save your screen a second, and then we'll just see how that race card looks up?
Yes, I do. Just while we're talking about that, also with the no HUD, you're also going to be disabling the for those that use Source for Zwift.
Yeah, and that's what I said. Even no, well, they can use it, but they'll not see anything. Yeah. So, and that's something we tested through. So if you save your team very quickly there.
Done.
Okay, because we do want to move ourselves. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay. If you just click on Nathan again. Yep. Don't know why it's through you there. And then went to manage 6 teams.
Done.
Okay, what you can start now. Now you can start. You can see your from a manager's perspective, that's what you see. You can see your team building up, and your rosters are completely open. You're not. We don't. There's no. I'm only limited to 12 people. You're limited to the level of rider that can ride in the Gamma C space.
Yep.
That's all you're limited to. So. At that moment in time. So that,
again, in the velo space, that's from like 1,200 to 1,500. So it's a pretty good amount of riders in that space.
Absolutely, it's probably that sort of B space is the biggest sort of space to be in.
Yeah.
So if you just very quickly clicked on my teams. So again, if you're not a manager, you're not a Team 6 manager, and you say, okay, have I been selected? Well, the best way to look at it is to go to my teams, because that's your view from my teams as an individual rider. I've signed up, I've registered, but I'm not a manager. Somebody else is doing all of that. If I'm in a team, it will show on here.
Gotcha.
And equally, you've got the race pass that says, there we go, the race pass.
They copy that. That takes them over. They can log in.
Well, again, if they click on it, it'll take them to the Zwift sign-in screen.
Yep.
So.
Now, sorry. Before we go on, Dean was asking. So, how many people can you have in any one team?
Unlimited.
Yeah.
Technically, obviously, only got 5 people riding each week. But as I mentioned before, Dean, what you've got out there is the riders have to be the level of the division for them to be able to ride
for that team. That's
right. It. Yeah. Yep. So there's and that's it. They need to be registered for the event. They need to be the right level. that'll just mean that everybody in your pen is the right level. Now, okay, there will be some people who turn up and go, I'm the right level now, but okay, then, and they'll go and blow themselves. Fine,
Yeah,
you can,
yeah.
you'll be allowed to win one week, but you won't win the next.
Yep.
Because the way that your VLO will work. So for that, you'll need to go and find, a higher team, go and loan yourself somewhere else, but still be involved.
So what you're sort of saying then is if people are registering teams, they may want to consider having maybe their primary team and then having another team that's a level up. So
absolutely, I think that would be really wise to do that in
Yeah.
the sense of giving people an option of somewhere to go.
Yeah.
And form alliances with other teams. There'll be bigger teams and smaller teams that might say, actually, together we've got a fairly healthy group. Individually, maybe we're a bit thin, but form alliances. We're there to, and there'll be other people who've not got teams. I think FRR will probably put a team against every division. So we've got a natural space for riders, and we'll appeal for riders now and just say, look, if you want to be part of the FRR teams, we'll put teams in there to ensure that everyone's got a home to come and race. We want people involved and enthused and to try it out.
I'm apologising if I'm pronouncing this name incorrectly. Gert is asking,
good old Gert.
Can you then race each week for another team?
You can if you want to. If that's the ability to do it, you can race around. Yes, riders can be in more than one team, but you can only race once each week.
Yeah, okay.
So, if I look at the way ZRL sometimes works, people will go, I can race at 7 o'clock in the morning and I'll go and race my 9 o'clock at night race as well. Well, the teams will be locked out from that perspective. You can race once each
change.
week.
Yep.
No. So,
and I'm just
because we have to lock people down.
I'm just bringing up on the screen the zwiftracing.app. So if you want to know what your velo score is, jump along to the zwiftracing.app website. That will show you where you're currently sitting. So you can see mine on the screen there. I'm at 1200. That gives you a sense of where I'm at. And then, of course, you can look at it for, I think, under references or there'll be a list of all the rankings, and you'll get to see where the different, your different riders are. So go along. That will tell you what you need to know.
And I think I could go on for a long time over, but I think what I want to move on to here now is, well, why? Why am I bothering to do this? Why, what's my overall goal?
Yeah.
Well, we've set this up into 4 regions. We've set this up to be a world championship or bring all these A to E levels together, whether it's mixed, whether it's women's only. I want to bring them into a conference final where APAC best five teams rides off against the best 5 teams from Europe. The best 5 teams out of those 10 go and ride off against the equivalent of US East and West who've ridden off against it into one world final at one time. Now, that's 7th of March, 14th of March the following week. It has to be at those times before all the times change and all the clocks change.
Yep.
And for that, it's really key that we can use it at those times. Now, those finals are on Saturdays, because we're trying to bring 4 corners of the earth together in one space.
It's tough, isn't it?
So it is tough. It's a little bit of ask on people's time, but what we've got coming ultimately, hopefully, will give you a little bit more incentive to say it's worth it. It's worth it for a little bit of me putting my time out. What I'd also like to add is that throughout this season, we're signing up to do things with ZMS as well for some coverage. We're certainly looking to do that on October 10th. Now, obviously, we want people to be. We want enough people to say, "Okay, this is really worth it. It's going to be a really great show." So it's really down to the community to say, "Yeah, we'll give it a go," we'll come along and try this out. Because if we don't get enough people, it doesn't really work for us.
No,
I want it to work. I want it to work for everybody. But that's not within my gift. I can only put it out there as we always do. On the back of that, we've got a really great front lady with Emma Martin, everybody knows what Emma can bring to a broadcast.
Emma is so fantastic.
Yeah, and I've worked with her on a couple of things before, I know you have,
Mm-hmm.
and her knowledge and understanding of the racing that we all do out there is probably second to none.
A1.
So I'm really excited for those sort of shows when those come on. Because if this goes the way that we want it to go, and this is only season 1, and season 2 could be so much better, but let's just get through season 1 first.
Yep.
Then it just gives people purpose. It gives people something to go, this is different, and I want to engage with it.
Yep.
Hopefully. Anyway, that's the idea. So that's our overall game, and which probably brings us nicely into the next piece. I know we'll have lots of questions, and this won't be the last time we talk about it. So hit us on Discord, hit us on Facebook, and all those sort of things. We'll pick up things well after the piece. But and there was no easy way to get through all of this succinctly and quickly because it's so much in there. But
there's a lot to it, but I think once people sort of spend a bit of time on it, they're going to realize how great it is. And the fact that, just coming back to that Super 6, the thought process that you need to go through now each week, it's not just sort of set and forget. You actually have to have a think about it. You got to look at the course, you got to look at your riders, you got to look at who's available, and then make actual decisions based on those details. And so it's much different to set and forget kind of racing, where it's like the same people turn up each week. And now you've really got to think about it.
Exactly. And I think I think people have got a lot of time to think about it. What I really urge people is, put some markers down, get some teams registered, get some markers in the system. What that will do is really give us an indication of, probably giving me 2 indications if no one does it, that whether people think, this is something I want to be involved with.
Yeah.
Nothing's set in stone at this point in time of, having to be involved, but it gives us an indicator of interest across the planet. And this is a global thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
we need people to step up and support it.
So what else could we bring to the table that could possibly help with that conversation?
What else could we bring to the table that could possibly help with all this? I've got a little thing we can play and...
No. I think we just want to go to the next piece. Again, I think my next piece really is about the things that I've been hinting about for some time, that we've got a little bit more wanting to put onto the table. I'm just going to use the word collaboration.
Okay.
We're going into 5 years. We were going into 5 years. And then, discussion started to happen, and getting introduced to people about who are really interested, really psyched about the whole cycling movement. For everybody. I think at the end of the day, this is it's a global way of actually looking. It's a new, fresh vision on the way that that cycling can work in our spaces. And it's to say that you can get enormously excited about it is almost to a point of you start shivering, I think, a little bit in the potential of where it could go.
Yep.
And so I think on that front, it's just really awe-inspiring about what these guys really want to try and achieve over the next 5 odd years. So I will say that I'm going to introduce now our new global sort of collaborative partner, and they're called Octane. There we go. Nothing happened there, honest. So Octane are a new partnership with us. Things are going to really take quite a drastic change in just how more sassy I think we become, how more professional that we become, and in everything that we do. I think the things that Octane have immediately brought to us is just a place that I don't think we could ever imagine to go to.
It's incredible.
I'm one of the things that we will see from from our website now is how how they've improved our thinking, and just hopes on the hope on for virtual racing. We haven't invited on this particular forum at this moment of time, the voice behind this whole piece, who is Mr. John Fitzgerald. He reached out to me, having been introduced. He came to see me in France while I was climbing Ventop 1 2, and beat me up the hill by a long style, which I owe him back for at some point in time. And podcast 2, I very much hope he will be able to join us to talk even more about the vision of what Octane wants to bring and the collaboration with FRR. In its simplest terms to us at this point in time, it's providing us the means to move ourselves forward in a direction I don't think we could ever imagine to do. It's going to give us resources to bring things to riders and to teams and to organisers that we never anticipated being able to do, whether it's technical resources to improve websites, to produce statistics, to produce the online engagement that everyone, we all enjoy our statistics and we all enjoy our racing. And at the bedrock of it all, it is the racing that that really brings people to FRR. So that will be, that is the bedrock of what we will do with Octane to start with. There's a good 5-year plan out there of where we want to be, and we're at the start of that journey. We look at, why FRR? Why not somebody else? And those sort of things. I think from the discussions, the market was looked at. The market was definitely looked at to say what was out there, who's doing what, where do we want to be? We want to be able to launch ourselves in a space that is trusted. It's got a great reputation. And I'm not going to not blow my own trumpet on those sort of things. We've worked really hard for 4 odd years to foster a great community respect for what we do. Now, okay, there will be some times that I've not met eye to eye with absolutely every rider over the years.
But still, though,
but still, I still class us that. We've got a great reputation in the market, and that's one of the things that has brought Octane to us, and has kept that discussion going, and allows me to be able to launch what we've launched today. So again, people going to our website now will see that it has changed. They'll see that we've now got an Octane branded front end. We've got, as you can see in the bottom right-hand corner, just underneath this little over here, I've got my logo here. We've got something that's 6. 6 is new. Octane are new. It's a perfect partnership to start things off with. And that little signature there with the crown on top of the, so if you scroll through that, the crown on top of the triangle is our, you'll all know and love it eventually, or hate it perhaps. It's called the Crangle. So it's a crown with a triangle underneath. So it's our little Crangle. If I was super ambitious, which I sort of am, then the night tick had to start somewhere, and I feel as though that the Crangle is the start of that night tick. And that's the sort of future with this sort of brand that's sort of coming on down to to make a real difference to everybody. If you click on the logo there, you'll be taken across to the Octane website. They've got some great information about how they work, how they operate. You can learn more about actually with the movement, and there'll be more and more coming along about how Octane is going to energize cycling, and that's not just in real life. So we want to energize in real life and virtual cycling. So there's an enormous amount where we want to go, and at the moment we're at the very start of that journey. So read more about Octane. We'll be putting more out about Octane out there and our partnership with it, and equally, we're just so excited.
This is
just to see where it'll go.
Game changing. No one else is doing this. This is really the first that anyone is sort of attempting this. So this is fantastic. It's going to be a real positive step forward in terms of community racing on Zwift and other virtual cycling platforms.
And to add to that, so if you went back to our little website there, maybe you click on that. You click on the Octane Flamme Rouge joint logo there. That'll probably take you back. I'm sure it will. When it loads on your iPad, if you just flick down about 3 or 4 pages in, the next part of this really says, okay, then let's give people more of an interesting, another reason to say, why wouldn't I want to do this? One more will do it.
Yeah.
Here we go. So there we go. If you hold it on that little black screen there that says chapeau, that lovely little cap out there. So the giveaway that Octane are bringing to us in this, this part of this collaboration for the 6 element is that cap. If you sign up, you've got rid of my cap.
Bring the cap back. There we go.
Is the cap there? So that's what the cap will look like in real life. Anybody who signs up to 6, anybody who joins our rewards and signs up to 6, the cap's yours. Chapeau to that. That's what we'll come across. Now, so fulfillment without.
They get something straight away. So for signing up,
immediately,
they get something immediately. And I've got to say, as far as merch goes, as these things go, this actually looks really cool. Like you see lots of other things giving away. This actually looks pretty fantastic.
So first of all, it's an embroidered cap. It's not a transfer cap or anything like that. It's a cap that has some real quality about it. It's a 210 fitted cap. And those sort of things. So again, let's just make sure people understand. We're signing it for 6. We're also signing it for race rewards when they're happening on. So again, for £10, that's, I think retails would probably, if you're in a shop somewhere and it had the Dodgers on it, would be like $30 US or whatever it would be. So now, with fulfillment of that, we'd expect really at this moment in time to be in November, but that's the offer. We're bringing that to the table. That's an instant reward for just signing up, for just joining the series, for helping us launch FRR and the Octane collaboration together. We want to add to that is that, we've talked about why do I want to get to the conference finals? Why do I want to get to the world finals? Well, for that, while we won't give the specific at the moment because that's going to evolve, is that there will be rewards for getting to those finals for those team members. Now, we may have to look at, so there's a reward for the team for getting there. Now, that could well be T-shirts, it could be hoodies, it could be all sorts of things. But, and we'll nail that down come round 2. But ultimately, there will be prizes for getting to the conference and the world finals.
So, when teams actually put the effort in and they turn up each week and they support the community and they support the racing and they make it to the finals, they're going to get actual tangible benefits from it.
Actually going to get something in their hand. And, that is something that I don't think any other racing's really giving. No. There are things out there that'll get cash in their hand. That's great. We're not doing that. You're winning stuff for actually achieving and participating in stuff. And, this is, it's, again, it's an incentive for being in part of this particular racing. Now, all the things that we'll put out and our, the offering of what the merchandise that will come along as part of the Octane and the FRR piece will expand. And it will be available as well in stores. That'll be another store that will come online to the reward scheme. But so this is our exciting news. We've got a great new partner.
Comments. There's already some really positive responses there in the comments. James can't wait to get the hat. He says it's exciting. Joe says the same thing. Quality stuff in virtual and real world. So it's
and that's the key thing. We've all raced for so long indoors for an extra virtual jersey, but this is actually going to give people something in their hand for the first time, and as a community rider, not as an elite rider, not as someone I'm rating for a national team. This is I'm just competing to do it. So
all
levels of rider. Again, just compete, just come and join, and equally, as organisers, get people to come and help us, help ourselves, help yourselves. We're all in this together at the end of the day, and
that's
doors are never shut.
As well as the fact that not only do you get this, But more importantly, though, for those that are listening, you're really helping to support one of the best organized events, series, seasons on Zwift and other platforms. But you really are helping Rich and Flamme Rouge Racing with continuing to offer something that really no one else does. So
Exactly.
that's the important thing.
And in speaking to John, a part of that was one of the things that really came across in those early conversations of, it was the support that you're giving the community and the great name that you've got within that community that really said, actually, this is the person that I need to be talking to. We would always say that if you've raised, in fact, it's not so much say, we do in practice. If you've raised a ticket, if you've raised an email, or if you've raised a comment in anything that we do, we'll answer everything. We verify people, and which is something I do actually want to I don't want to forget that point. Just remember, verify people. We verify people to ensure that racing is fair. And we do take action immediately once we realise actually they're not as fair as they could be.
There's something amiss.
So, we answer absolutely everything. And someone might say that, did I ever sleep during a tour? Well, no, because I put an event on. And, if I do it, then I feel as though the organizer, if it's out there and I want people to participate, I've got to support it. So it's only fair to everybody who's out there. I just mentioned the word verification. I didn't touch on it earlier on, but one of the key things to all of this now is that we've also started the first line of base verification. We can all do the things that we do with updating our bios and those sort of things. However, part of our series, whether it's Six, whether it's tours, whether it's any event, it will be asking people to say, right, I need you every week to go into your profile and just say, yes, that's my weight. This is the setup I'm using. And agree to that verification attestation. That's all it is. You're not really putting out there. So that's down to race verification there on screen. And again, it's a very simple 5-second thing. Go into there, click on registration, or at that point in there, say, look, I've picked up what your current weight bio is. I'm telling you that those are your things out there. Click on the little box in the corner to say, yes, that's me. And submit your verification. That's it. What that will do is ensure that the race passes remain available to you. If you don't do that, it'll come up with a little message on screen saying, please do your verification, because, that's the blocker to do it. By putting this in there, just ensure that your Zwift record is aligned to what you've said, because the resulting will pick that up.
And it's only fair that we do this, because you don't want to be, putting all this effort in, racing, doing all the training, everything else you need to do, and have someone else sort of, come along and not be verified and, try and win races.
I think, the argument's been out there for such a long period of time of, oh, look at X, their weight has never changed. I'd love it to be like that. And some people will go, oh, what's the point of my change? I'm doing it for fun. You're not, I've had the comments, you're not US wide, or why are you even asking me this? Get lost. Well, I would say, okay, up until normally just racing, I could understand getting lost, and yes, we're doing it for fun. Now we're putting some prizes out there. Now we're putting some real tangible things.
So it's getting serious.
It's getting serious, but equally there's some serious things out there you can actually get your hands on. So let's make sure at least you're playing the ball. Now, I can ask, as race control and the VADA group can ask for verification from somebody at any point in time. But at least you put into the system, I've done it, and I'm saying that I am 80 kilos or whatever you are, and that's me. Just make sure your Zwift record is in line with that. In return, there are so many rewards to be had. I think this opportunity out here to, with Octane, to bring this whole new room, whole new universe to cycling. I can't even begin to describe, and I really need the man himself to do that. And that's where we'll be, I think, Nathan, on our next one. Our next podcast, and this is a monthly podcast, to really explain that vision. And the man needs his own words in his own way, and I'm really excited to work with John and the Octane team and everything they're doing in that sort of space, because it's a place that I just couldn't imagine that that we can normally get to, and
Yeah.
it's something that we're opening up to everybody.
Yeah.
So and
Yeah,
I'll
so
re-emphasize
fantastic.
again, and
Yep.
I'll just re-emphasize one thing I want to reinforce: our door isn't shut to anybody.
Mm.
You know, at the end of the day, you know, we're all out there busting a gut to try and make a difference out
Yep.
there. So you know, many things can be said in the heat of saying things out there,
Yep.
but you know, the door's open. Talk to us.
Yep.
You know, we're all human beings, and we all want the same thing. So, and I think we've got a way to make what we do on our platform of Zwift even better and enjoyable for everybody. And that's what we're bringing to the table.
No, it is going to be very, very exciting. And for those that have been listening and chatting already, we can see some of the excitement coming up. And I think it's only a matter now of people signing in. Get along to the website. The link to the website is in the description below. I mentioned earlier. Get along. At least get registered. Then you can have a look at it all. Go through it. If you do have any questions, you can jump down into the FRR Discord server. Again, there's lots of information there already about a lot of this. So if you've got any questions that we haven't sort of touched on in today's podcast, there'll be answers there. And if there's not an answer there and no one's got an answer for you, then Rich will be along at some point to help you out. Now, if you do have any questions about time zones, about verification, about the sign-up process, maybe you're a race organizer and you want to get involved in this, again, Rich will be there to help discuss that.
Absolutely, yeah. Ping us. Always tag me in the Discord server.
Yep.
Race controls and email is always there. So look, never very far away unless I'm allowed to sleep for a little bit, which it is. But you know, I'm really interested in getting all that feedback from the relevant zones. You know, as I said at the start of the program, are the zones right for you? I think they are, given what we're trying to achieve. But equally, if teams sit out there and clubs sit out there and go, "Oh, it doesn't work for us. I can't be bothered to do that." But if it was just this, why don't it feed that back? We've always listened. One of our key points is that we've always listened to people and evaluated what we've done to see what we can do to make it even more appealing to everybody. So reach out, just that, because you know, if I don't ask the question, I will not know.
Yeah.
So you know, at the end of the day,
you're really accommodating with your changes. And you know, if it's
accommodating,
if it's sensible enough, you're definitely willing to try and consider it and try and work it into the format.
If it's possible, it's possible.
Yeah.
And so you know, things don't start for a while yet, but you know, it has to work by only having 4 times. It has to work in the time zones. I think it does. I've always said it does. But you know, we moved the EP1 to 7:15 to say, okay, that works better for us if we're on a Friday night. Fine. We moved the US East ones to 7. It gives people a little bit more time to get in from work and do all those sort of things. You know, COVID's changed. People are now not working to home so much. But look, you know, what we put out there gives people extra incentive to try and think, is this something I want to be part of?
Yeah.
And I'm really hoping that and we're really hoping with this collaboration that it will be something that people want to be part of and see where this journey goes, because we are all in it together. And you know, it's very much a we thing. It's not just an I thing. It's a we thing that we do want to get there. And you know, at the end of the day, we only exist because of the community. And I think there's an awful lot of value coming back into the community from this.
This is fantastic. So I just wanted to go through some of the comments there.
Sure.
I just want to go back through and say, when you sign up and you register and you pay your membership for the annual membership, that's when you get the hat. For those
that's the tick in the box of those that we won't be fulfilling the hats until November. So bearing in mind, Race Rewards doesn't open until the 1st of October. So people won't be able to tick that box. The first key thing is get registered for the
get registered
6
first.
events.
But then when you do pay your membership, then that's when the hat comes along. So for those that are asking that question, I think Beast Mode powered by Rose are very interested in this as well. So
great. I mean, yes, Seb's been a
Yeah.
long supporter. So has Beast Mode. And one of the key things that they help me understand is when you're trying to put rewards out there, please come away from who's finishing on a podium, and take away that sort of shark element of anybody's going to come along and just try and win it for them. It's about participation.
Yeah.
It's about building the events that you've done with FRR. Anyone who's done events over the last 4 years will log into their event, log into their history, will see their credits been building, and they're there. So we've credited probably for seasons 2 to current date. We couldn't quite do season 1 because the stats aren't there anymore.
Yeah.
So sorry about that. But season 2 onwards are there.
Yeah.
We'll credit people for joining our charity events.
Yeah.
We've got to add the credits for all the people that have done V Sanglaise over the years. So those are all got to go in there, and those things will all be added very soon. So there's your reward side of things. And as you can see, the points are building up for you. Now, what you can see is you've done 22 events over the years. You've got a bonus event of 1. The bonuses are earned, as it says under the terms. I urge you to read the terms a little bit. The terms are all about, the bonuses are so, well, I completed a whole tour. I'm getting an extra bonus event. Hence, you've got 22 shows or whatever in there.
Yep.
We divide that by 25 to get your loyalty level. Once you move up, loyalty levels will only go up. So once Nathan gets to 25 events shown, his loyalty level will go to 2 times. If you just scroll back to the top, your base level points will take you to 11,000.
Yeah.
So again, the loyalty levels go up. You can spend your points against whatever it is, and away you keep going. Some people, and there are quite a lot of people that have got hundreds of thousands of points.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That means you're ready to get discounts immediately. Probably about 1,500 people have already got enough to go 3 or 4 20% discounts against
straight
things.
off the bat.
Those discounts would be one-time use things. Those discounts can be passed to friends. Those discounts can be used as a group to go and buy stuff. It's there to use.
Hang on. So you can pass the discounts to someone else?
Ultimately, it would be a discount code to use to redeem in a basket.
It's just getting better and better, isn't it?
Well, only if someone cycles, but at this moment in time. But exactly, it is something you've earned. It doesn't mean that you have to use it. It could be somebody else who wants to use it. And again, I will say in there, Octane's all over this now. So they are an enormously more corporate head. We all work in a corporate area, and we've all done this sort of area off the back and built it off the back of our own efforts for years. Yeah. This now is taking it to an absolutely different level. I can only see over the next 12 months, and certainly actually probably even sooner than that, just things looking even better. And this first set of giveaways under 6 is it just reinforces the sort of quality they want to bring to
and the commitment
to virtual cycling. Yeah, the commitment to it. There's a 5-year plan to make this where they want to be. Yeah. As I say, I wouldn't do it justice if I tried to explain it myself. But at this moment in time, I know there's certainly enough out there to say, look, do I want to be? Do we want to be part of this? We'd be mad not to want to be part of this. Yeah. Because it's just incredible with working with them over the last 2 or 3 months. It feels longer. But it has only really probably been 3 months. Where are we now? We are August. So we probably first started the discussions back in May. So it's been a very rapid move into this space. But so excited.
Well, you certainly changed the space, that's for sure. I think all of Zwift clubs, organisers are going to start looking at this differently now. You've opened the door.
I want them to. I want people to look at people differently and go and evaluate. Actually, how can we get more out of this? How can we be part of it more? And sure, and take the positives out of it. We're not trying to rule the world. We're not trying to run everything and everything. But equally, I think there's an opportunity here that says, our the world that our sporting world, it is a sporting world,
Yep.
can be so much better. And
for sure.
And it's an underdeveloped space. And I think someone has realised that. Octane certainly realised that, and it's just so exciting about where they'll bring it.
All right. Well,
All right.
Look, guys, if you're still here, if you're still with us, you're officially part of the breakaway. Our next episode, we are going to do exactly that. We're going to get John on the podcast. He gets to explain his vision of all this and talk us through the process and what we can see is going to be coming down the pipe. We're also going to cover the start of season 5. So the French courses, we're going to talk about the qualifications for Super 6. And we may even have done some of the Super 6 racing coming into that first round 1. We're going to catch up on all that and the news. So make sure you click on the subscribe button down the bottom there. You'll get notified of when we're going to produce the next podcast. As I said, it will be in about a month's time. But if you can't wait until then, jump into the Discord channel as well. You can chat, talk about things there. There's lots of different areas, lots of different topics. Get in there. By the way, if you can, and if you've done a bunch of FRR racing in the past, we want to see the pictures. We want to see the stories. We're going to include some of these in the upcoming episodes as well. So if you've got a clip of you finishing a race, if you've got a jersey already, if you've been outdoor cycling in an FRR jersey as well, take a photo, drop it into Discord, tag us, and then we'll try and include that in the upcoming episodes. But Rich, I think we've nailed this one. Any parting comments before we wind this up?
Oh, super excited. I think at the end of the day, if I had to say something out there, super excited for where we're going to. The journey over this next 12 months is just going to be unmanageable. And maybe a bit of a roller coaster. I thoroughly thank Octane for the opportunity for working with them, and looking forward to where we're going to take this. It's and equally out to the community. The community, you guys have put us here by joining what we've done. We started 5 years ago with 80 people in the first tour. And that progressed to thousands joining our tours and our events. So I wouldn't be here talking about this. I wouldn't be certainly doing anything with Octane if it wasn't for you. And therefore, what we're trying to do here is actually also give something back into that community for everybody. And I think we can. And if we're all in it together, we are all in it together. Then I think we've got a real opportunity to make a difference.
To make it better. All right. Thanks very much for watching, everyone. And we will catch you in the next episode. Bye.
Thank you very much.